And there is no reinforcement inside, of course, because this L shape here, this glass fibre L shape, stops before it gets to the undercarriage. So there's no extra bond between the floor and the side. There's the plate, the aluminium plate that the new undercarriage is bolted to. I think this is the old aluminium plate that the old undercarriage was bolted to. They're just glued on. So the connection between here and here is not that brilliant. Well, here's the plates. That one is for the new undercarriage. I thought that was for the old undercarriage, but it's obviously not. It's far too big, and it's been fitted around the reinforcement here. The original undercarriage plate would have been quite small. It would have just encapsulated these two holes here. And I can see why they put that plate on, because they didn't overlap the fiberglass skin onto here. It's just a plug. Erudite it in. So it's relying on the erudite for its strength and not the skin of the fiberglass. Whoever did the repair didn't understand how fiberglass structures work. And the other thing is that there is a tab from the back here that fits inside the floor. I think they've cut that away in fitting this plug. I'll investigate that in a second on the other side. But if they've done that, then there's not a very good connection between the back and the floor. Right, there's the skin, the inner skin. Wasn't overlapped, it wasn't really attached, except with some erudite. And you can see this is the front skin of the back. You can just see the rear skin of the back there. So that section from there to there would have been a tab poking through the floor, like these tabs on the side. That's from the back bulkhead. Those two are from the back bulkhead. So it slots together using tabs and slots. So that tab there should have come right through the floor. The skin has been cut off this side, and there is now no direct connection between the rear bulkhead and the floor, apart from a butt joint onto the skin of the fiberglass. So very poor. I don't mind unapproved repairs as long as they're done properly, but this is not done properly. So to repair this properly, I'm going to cut the skin away well beyond the hole, leave the lower skin intact, cut the core out, make a patch like the other patches, stick it in from this side, and then I'll make sure that there is some skin overlapping this to connect the side to the floor. And of course there needs to be some reinforcement to connect the rear bulkhead with the floor as well. I should probably put some carbon fibre L shaped pieces on the inside to reinforce it. In fact, what I should do here is cut away the skin, put a patch in, a fiberglass patch, to build it up to the edge. Same technique as all the other patches really. Well, there's one side all cleaned up. I'll patch this hole with a separate piece, I think. And around the other side, I'm keen on symmetry, so this is exactly the same as the other side, exactly the same size. But this bit of skin here wasn't actually attached to the core. It had bubbled up, so that's partly why I took it back there. And if you look carefully, you can see the remains of the two skins of the tab that came from the rear bulkhead through the floor. And obviously where they cut this hole in, they cut away the tab there. So really not a very secure connection with the rear bulkhead. Well, here's the patch for this side of the damaged fibre lamp where the undercarriage was. So the skins are going to overlap on all sides. And that'll be clamped in place. And over the other side there's a similar size patch, but the skin overlaps quite a bit. The patch is that size, patch of fibre lamp, and I've made the skin oversized so that it covers the hanger down tube connection here, the paw hard point. So I filled that recess with epoxy, and this skin will add a bit of extra strength to the whole of that joint. The hard point seems okay on the inside face, so rather than disturb it, I've left it in place, just reinforced it. There we are, all clamped up, and it should go off in no time. It's Erudite 2005, but in this hot sun it'll set within a few hours rather than 24. Next will be the floor panel, so that's all prepared to accept the floor panel, and there's a piece of fibre lamp prepared to fit. So that should strengthen the tub up no end, and getting rid of the footwell will obviously reduce drag. This, I think, came out of an airliner. They use it for airliner floors. Very lightweight, very strong. So it's got what remains of a hard point here. So we're all prepared now to put these patches in, like so. All we need to do is apply the Erudite 2005 and then clamp it up. Well, here's the finished result. It needs a bit of cleaning up, but at least it's structurally sound now. Obviously this shadow has had a heavy landing in the past, with damage here to the main undercarriage and repairs to the nose leg area, but there's also signs of damage to the diagonal drag struts, the anchorage points. So this is a new bit of fibre lamp that's been inserted as a plug with hardly any overlap, if any at all. Hardly any overlap of the skins. Same on the other side. And I think this happened with the original undercarriage, so possibly it failed or was ripped off. Something fairly major. Not recorded in the aircraft records. And this is the underside. So this section here has been inlaid in, just a plug with absolutely no overlap of the skins here, so structurally not sound. Same over this side. And here's the repaired patch, complete with this oversized bit of skin here to reinforce the hang point area, and the same the other side. So we've got the patch here and this inlaid section here, which would have been crushed in the accident. Well, I can see what was done now. There is a plug of fibre lamp in there, just the exact size to fit, and then it was skinned over with a separate skin, which would be okay if it were if it were done adequately, but it's a very poor repair, and the overlap isn't great around the patch, and the same on the other side. The same technique was used on the other side, on the underneath, that is. So I'll be taking these patches out and putting in a new patch of fibre lamp. Well, it's now become apparent what the damage is. Well, it's now become apparent what the damage is. I think it did have an undercarriage collapse, so that wiped the nose wheel off. It dragged the main undercarriage backwards. You can see here the two bolt holes connecting the drag strut. You can see where the bolt has been ripped through the fibre lamp there. Not such a bad story the other side. So this is on the left hand side of the aeroplane, and that also led to the damage back here where the main undercarriage is mounted, and I reckon that then led on to the damage at this hang point here. I think the undercarriage dragged this down tube, which normally fits at the back here, dragged it away and pulled out this hard point. So that's been crudely put back in. I might have to uncover the other skin on the other side to see what goes on behind there. So here we are, just fitting the patches for the drag struts, the undercarriage drag struts. That one's in place, and this one goes like so. There we are, all clamped up. That's the nose wheel patch. And that's the two drag strut patches.